if you're anything like me, you've probably spent countless hours on YouTube as well. It was such a big part of my childhood. I remember in like 2014 watching Minecraft Monster School videos and challenges, bro versus sis. I can't even begin to imagine how many hours I've spent on YouTube. And even while watching all these videos, becoming a YouTuber as a career path never really was a thought to me. I thought it was too saturated, too high entry point, and too competitive. And that's true. YouTube is the most competitive career path option for young people, but that's not without good reason. In this video, I'm going to be making a full guide on how you can start your own YouTube channel. And even if you have your own channel, I'm going to be giving tips from a perspective that you probably haven't seen before. So just watch the whole video because I promise you that you're going to find this valuable. Okay, so firstly, why should I even start a YouTube channel? Well, number one, the enjoyment. You're making videos about something that you're passionate about and you enjoy. So not only is it flexible, you get enjoyment from it and it doesn't really feel like a job. And leading on from that point, it's flexible if you decide that this is a career path that you want to do. Or you don't have to dedicate fully to it. It could just be a part-time hobby thing. But even so, it's flexible. It's not like a 9-to-5 job where you have to show up every day. You can match it to when you're free and when you want to make these videos. And fulfillment, especially if you make some education or self-help kind of content like I am, you get the fulfillment of helping others and people saying that your videos are really useful and I found them helpful. And not only, even if you decide to go on another different niche on YouTube, you still get the fulfillment of building up fans and people that like to watch you for who you are. And money, of course. A big part of YouTube ad is the money and fame, the glory that comes with it. And YouTube ad pay you more than you think. And not only is that, it's also very scalable. Once you have a fan base, you could sell lots of other things such as online courses or memberships. So it's a very easy and stable way of making money. And before we get on into the tips, is it the right option for you? And I'll keep this short because if you're watching this, this is probably something that you've already thought about. But obviously I'm only 15, so I don't have like a job I need to attend. But you really have to think about if this is something that you want to take seriously, because although yeah, it could be a hobby, but if you really want to have this as an option and the 9-to-5 typical office jobs don't please you, you have to be willing to put in the time and effort. And of course it's not going to be easy, but you have to think about if this is something that you want to do for the next 10 years and if the positives outweigh the negatives. Okay, so enough talking. So how do you actually start your channel? So don't worry about creating like some elaborate name. People obsess about the name, the banner, the icon way too much. Especially if you're going to be focusing on the content, you should not worry about these small, meaningless tasks. Rather, you should be focusing on the important things where your attention should be diverted. So for your channel name, just keep it simple. And if you can't think of anything, so if you're like searching for cool usernames to do, just use your full name, bro. There's like no need to go deep down into the webs and spend hours upon hours searching for the perfect name. And for your profile picture, just choose anything, but make it unique. Don't use like Google image stock photos, bro. Like, come on. Anyway, so the question that I get asked sometimes is, if you have like an old Minecraft gaming YouTube channel, should you start fresh? And the answer to that is yes, because although you starting with 200 subscribers may give you that like ego boost, the thing is it's actually going to hurt you more in the long run, because these 200 subscribers that you have on Minecraft channels, they're going to want Minecraft content. And when you start posting about self-help and like dopamine detox, they're obviously not going to watch your videos as much. So your attention is going to go down and YouTube will stop actually pushing out your videos. So it's better to build up an audience of people that actually like your videos for the type that you're intending. So like, although it might be a bit humbling starting at 0 subscribers, I can assure you that if you just follow the 3 golden rules of YouTube, which I'm going to mention later, you're going to find success. And following on from that, don't share your channel and every video into like Discord and Facebook and Instagram, because as I just said, you're trying to build up an audience that like you for your content. Because what's the point if some 90-year-old man who's wanting pension tips like watches your videos? They're obviously not going to enjoy it. They might even dislike it. So we don't want that. We just want people that naturally come across our channel, that get recommended by the YouTube algorithm and watch our videos and they actually like it. So the next thing that you have to think about is your niche. You have to decide who your target audience is. So for me, it's people from a age of 12 to 25, because that's the age that I can relate the most with and is the content that I'm making. And you have to decide what type of videos you want to make. So for me, it's obviously self-improvement and kind of education, storytelling, and giving life tips. But it can be anything. But it has to be something that you're familiar with and you could give genuine advice. Don't trend ride. Like, just because like cooking channels are popping off right now, it doesn't mean you have to open a cooking channel, although you have no idea what you're doing. Because in the end, people are going to watch your videos for you, your authentic self. So there's no point in trying to do something that you don't know. And the first pitfall that people make in this area is that they try to talk to too broad of an audience. As Hamza's editor, Sam, who has his own YouTube channel now, says very well, I think, is if you talk to everyone, you talk to no one. So what this means is that everyone, of course, wants to talk to everyone because that's going to get them the most views in the short term. But the thing is, when you focus on such a large audience, you're going to not be able to talk about the points you want, and it's going to be very hard to narrow down and actually hit the target audience that you want. It's like you fulfill everyone a tiny bit because it's very general advice, but then you do that for more people. But the way that you build actual fans and people who will like you is that by pinpointing that audience and focusing on going into depth about that, something that can help them. So you want an example? So for me, it's teens who are like watching self-improvement videos and they're at that stage where they're in self-improvement, but they're either stuck or they don't know how to progress into that next stage. Because for me, that was what I was stuck in the most, and I feel like I can give the most relatable and helpful tips. So now you have a channel and your clear niche in mind. So what next? So I think this is a good point to mention the 3 golden rules of YouTube. So these are: be authentic, be consistent, and be patient. So be authentic. You have to be honest. You can't lie to your viewers, obviously, they're going to know. And be relatable, but at the same time, be the same as you would be in real life. Because if this is something that you want to be consistent in and keep doing, if you suddenly switch characters, obviously people are going to be confused and not like you for the person that you portray on the camera. And genuinely have an interest in videos that you're making, because people can tell, like you can tell when someone's really into a topic that they're making just by looking at the way they talk or the way they're engaged into the video. Like, people think that but because it's just like a video, they can be shallow and talk about whatever they want. But the thing is, people like pick up on these subtle cues. And the second one, be consistent. Set yourself a goal and stick to it. So whether it's daily uploads, weekly uploads, I would recommend posting at least once a week though, because the consistency is what makes the results. And people think that they're like fearless and you could drop off the face of the earth and expect YouTube to keep pushing out your videos. But the thing is, you have to be consistent, not only for the YouTube algorithm, but for yourself. Because if you make it a consistent habit and goal, you're more likely to stay on track with it. And as I said, this is a race, it's highly competitive. If you drop out, there's always someone that's going to be overtaking you. And the third one is to be patient. You can't expect results straight away. Keep a close eye on impressions, not subs. And set yourself a video goal instead of subscriber count. Because the thing is, the mistake I made, and the thing that I stress so often in my videos, is that if you focus on your subscriber count and how each video performs, and I'm a victim to this, I won't lie, after each video I used to check the analytics page, but you have to set yourself a video goal, because by the time you get to that end of that video goal, that's where the reward lies, and instead of focusing on each one. Okay, so now we have all these set up, so now you can start to record your first video. And you might be thinking, that's a big jump, like you just told me to set up my channel and my niche in mind. How am I meant to record my first video? Well, the point of this first video is that you actually do it, because there's a saying on this YouTube community that's like, the number of people that want to start a channel is 100. The number of people who record their first video is actually only 10, and then the number of people who actually go on to monetize and make only $1 of YouTube is 1 out of that 100. So just by uploading your first video, and of course it's going to be really bad, like I look back at my videos with such like I laugh at them, not because it's like funny, because you're looking at yourself from a time ago and it's so different to what you are now. But anyway, so just by recording any video, so if you're stuck, just do like saying hello to yourself in 100 videos time, in a year's time, or just introducing yourself and what you're going to be doing on the channel. Because by recording this first video, that's a huge step. You're already in that top 10% of people who start a YouTube channel by uploading your first video. And of course you're going to be bad, but the part of doing this is all improving your speaking skills and just talking to the camera, because your voice is going to sound weird, you're going to say you look weird, but all these excuses are just going to hold you back. I remember that I used to think that, oh, if my hair isn't perfect for these videos, people aren't going to watch. But the thing is, the more authentic you are, the more likely they're going to watch. When I watch back these videos, I'm going to be like, oh, I stuttered there, or my hair doesn't look right, and I'm going to have an urge to re-record these clips. But the thing is, by being authentic and being genuine to your viewers, that's what they really want. And it's all practice at the end of the day. Just try and improve one thing from each video and you'll find yourself progressing so much. So the last bit I'm going to cover in this video is edits and Misc. So what I mean by this is like those thumbnails, descriptions, everything that's so complicated and people obsess over the most. But the thing is, once you record your video, that's 99% of the task done. Thumbnails, you could literally just use the suggested thumbnails, because thumbnails, if you see some of the viral videos, some videos literally are just a black screen with one word on it, or just a picture that's taken from like an iPhone 6. Because the thing is, thumbnails don't actually matter. Well, they do, but not as much as you think. So what I mean when I say thumbnails don't matter, obviously they do matter, but what I'm saying is that the amount of time and effort people put into thumbnails, that can be used to instead in your videos, and you'll see a bigger increase in that one rather than focusing on these small things like edits and thumbnails. And for editing, I use DaVinci Resolve, which is a free platform, and it takes a while to like kind of get the hang of, but after like a couple of videos you really get the gist of it. And for editing, I wouldn't go crazy because obviously it's difficult and it's very time consuming, but maybe just learn how to add subtitles and basic music. And I know that you're really desperate to add those fancy animations and like pro tier YouTube videos, but you could just keep it raw. The thing is, if you unedited videos actually do surprisingly well, especially at that early stage, because it's kind of like that people watch your videos and they see you have a low subscriber count, and that gives them a sense of relatability and they actually want to watch your videos more. So yeah, but I would recommend adding some basic edits, whether that's subtitles and music, because as much as you want to be Hamza, you could just upload a video of him like talking with sneezes, stuttering and pauses. We don't have that kind of audience at the moment. So yeah, and read up on copyright rules before. So whenever you use music or like things, make sure it's copyright free, because the last thing you want is to get striked. Okay, so this is quite a lot, and I've never made a video this long, and this took quite a lot of planning, but this is only part 1 of 2, because if you think about it, this is only telling you up to the point of uploading your first video. But how do you maintain it? How do you even use YouTube Studio? It's so complicated. What are some tips? Consistency, what time should you post? There's so many questions, and I'll be doing this in part 2, but leave any suggestions or questions that you have that I didn't answer. And before you go, I just wanted you to say that if you genuinely believe that you can do it and you post 2 to 3 times a week for 2 years, I can promise you that you're going to make more money than you can ever imagine. Good luck.